Here are 7 things you must keep private. Never share them with anyone. Not your closest friend, not your partner, not even your family. Stoicism teaches us to hold most things within because the more you disclose, the more vulnerable you become. Machiavelli warned us, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. That is not merely a quote, it is a warning. Machiavelli did not say these exact words, but he lived by this principle. In The Prince, he made one thing clear. If you wish to remain in control, disclose nothing. The more you reveal, the easier you are to break. People smile to your face, but behind that smile, they are gathering information. And if you give them the wrong piece, especially the final one I will mention, they may use it against you later. So today, I am giving you 7 things you should never reveal to anyone. They may seem harmless, but they expose you. They make you easy to manipulate. Listen carefully. This could save your reputation and perhaps even your life. 1. Your next move. You tell people your goals, your strategies, your vision, thinking they will support you. But in silence, they begin to chip away at it. They pretend they care. What they are really doing is undermining your momentum. They question it, they doubt it. Not because they care, but because they fear what you will become. Your plan is not safe in other people's heads. It is safe only when it is done. Here is the truth: people secretly do not want you to rise above them. Friends become critics when your ambition grows louder than theirs. And if your next move threatens their comfort, they will sabotage you with a smile. They act supportive, but they are waiting. Let them wait forever. Power moves in silence. You do not need validation. You need results. If they see the move before it is made, they will block it. If they see it after it is made, they will fear it. And when you fail after hyping yourself up, you have given them something even more powerful: evidence to laugh at you. Do not give them that. Move in silence. Let results do the talking. The second you reveal your next move, you expose your ambition, and ambition triggers one of 2 reactions. Insecure people will try to lower it. Competing people will try to sabotage it. This is why intelligent men move in silence. They speak with actions. They do not explain their dreams, they deliver them. Consider a real example. You tell a friend you are launching a business. They hit you with, "Are you sure that is smart right now? Is not that risky? You are going to leave your stable job for that? Now stop." Were they truly concerned for your well-being? Or were they afraid you might actually break free? People will throw doubt at you dressed as advice. They will use your old self to hold back your future self. Oh, but you are not that type of guy. You are not even good at that. You have never done something like that before. Let me be blunt, you do not owe anyone an explanation. You do not need permission to evolve. You do not need validation to act. Machiavelli wrote, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver." Do not mistake this for dishonesty. He meant play the game, but stay 2 steps ahead. Let others think they know your moves while you execute the real ones in silence. Because the truth is, when they know your next move, they can block it, delay it, steal it, or plant seeds of doubt before you even start. Think of the most powerful people in history. They did not announce their next move. They did not broadcast their intentions. They moved, then let the world react. Julius Caesar did not post a plan before crossing the Rubicon. Alexander did not announce his campaigns. Machiavelli did not ask for feedback before manipulating the state. Today's world tricks you into thinking you have to share, that transparency is strength. It is not. Silence is strength. Imagine this scenario. You tell your family you are quitting your job to build something on your own. They panic. They throw statistics at you. 90% of startups fail. Do not risk stability. You have bills to pay. Suddenly, you feel small. You question yourself. You delay action. Not because your plan was wrong, but because their fear became your burden. Now reverse the script. You quit silently. Build quietly. Then when it is done, they see the result. That is how you earn respect. You do not ask for it, you impose it by what you execute, not what you explain. People respect finished products. They do not respect unfinished ideas. Every time you share your next move, you give someone the power to kill it. Sometimes with a word, sometimes with silence. Both are lethal when you are still fragile. Ask yourself, why do I share my plans with people who have done nothing with theirs? 2. Your weakness. The second you tell the wrong person your weakness, you become a target. You might think you are being honest, but they are taking notes. They are storing your pain like ammunition. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others. Be strict with yourself." That means you deal with your pain internally without broadcasting it for validation. Why? Because most people do not care. And the ones who do are watching to see when you bleed, so they know where to strike. What you see as a cry for help, they see as leverage. You bleed in front of them, and they pretend to stitch the wound, then cut deeper when it serves them. Your enemies are often people you once called friends. You need to understand this. You never expose what you have not mastered. Your weakness is your responsibility, not your announcement. Stop expecting others to carry your emotional weight. You bleed in front of the wrong person once, and you will pay for it forever. Do not believe me. Look at the last time someone used your own words against you in an argument. That friend who remembered what you said in weakness. That relative who laughed about your fear months later. That ex who exposed your deepest insecurity after the breakup. They do not forget, they collect. Never forget this: your enemies were once your confidants. Your biggest betrayals will come from familiar faces, and the wounds that hurt the most will be the ones you volunteered. So what do? You build yourself up in private. You conquer your demons behind closed doors. You become the kind of man who masters his wounds, not markets them. And if you are thinking, but I need support, let me tell you something. Support is earned through strength, not tears. Because in a world full of emotional exhibitionists, the man who is stoic, who is unraidable, that is the man they respect. He is unpredictable. He is powerful. He is untouchable. You do not walk around showing your cracks. You become the storm that does not break, because the second you show them where to hit, they will. Your pain is sacred. Protect it. Now let us go even deeper. Your enemies often used to be your friends, the people you shared secrets with, the ones who knew your fears, the ones who said, I have got you. One day, they will turn. And when they do, they will weaponize everything you ever told them. Stop expecting loyalty from people who benefit from your weakness. You do not owe the world your truth. You owe yourself your dignity. And here is something Machiavelli would whisper if he sat across from you right now. If you want control, never expose the variables people can use to control you. Be cold. Be quiet. Be unreadable. Let people guess what hurts you. Let them try to figure it out. Let them fail. Because the moment they know you, they own you. 3. Your income. The richer you get, the quieter you need to be. There is a reason old money is quiet and new money is loud. Because real power does not shout, it watches. Start talking about how much you earn and watch how fast people start playing games. Suddenly, you are the target of comparison, jealousy, judgment. People stop seeing you, they see your wallet. Money does not just change your lifestyle, it changes how people treat you. You tell someone your income and they begin calculating how to use you, how to beat you, or how to destroy you. The richer you get, the quieter you must become. Money does not buy loyalty, it buys attention. And most of it is fake. Power is not in showing what you have, it is in making them wonder, make them guess, make them uncomfortable not knowing. Remember, this silence is the ultimate flex. If they do not know what you have, they cannot control how they treat you. Let them assume, because mystery invites respect. And power grows best when it is hidden. That is why the true Machiavellian does not show his wealth. Money is a weapon, and you never show your weapons before the war starts. You stay silent. You stay in control. Think about the people around you. You tell them how much you make. Suddenly, they think you owe them something. They want help. They want to drag you into their drama because you can afford it. And if you say no, you are the villain. Not because you changed, but because their fantasy of using you just collapsed. Let us go deeper. Silence is not about secrecy, it is about self-preservation. If they do not know what you have, they do not know how to manipulate you. You can walk into a room and be underestimated, and that is your edge. They will not see you coming. They will not plan for you. They will not prepare defenses because you never gave them a reason to. But the moment you speak on it, the moment you start flexing your income, you paint a target on your back and the world starts aiming. The ones who really have power, they let others guess. Let them wonder how much you make. Let them assume, because mystery is more powerful than wealth. People respect what they cannot figure out. They fear what they cannot label. They watch what they cannot access. If you want to own the room, do not show up screaming about your bank account. Own your silence. You do not need to explain your lifestyle. You do not need to justify your success. You do not need to defend what you earn. Now pause. Ask yourself how many people in your life know what you make. And what did it really bring you? Did it bring peace or pressure, support or suspicion? If you are honest, you already know the answer. Let me paint you a scene. You tell your friend you made 6 figures this year. At first they smile, they clap, they say, that is amazing. But then the questions begin. You must be rich now, right? Hey, I have got this business idea. Can you help me with rent? Suddenly your income has created expectation, and when you do not meet it, respect turns to resentment. And if you think this only happens with friends, think again. In relationships, money becomes control. If they think you earn more, they will either rely on you too much or compete with you silently. In family, you are now the one who made it. which means you are expected to carry their weight, solve their problems, and never say no. Say no once, and you are the arrogant one, the selfish one, the one who forgot where you came from. I never said you should not help others, but during your building stage, you need to stay ruthless. Do not sacrifice your future to carry someone else's weight. Once you start making progress, they will see you as the person who made it. While you are still building, you must stay focused and protect your progress. 4. Never expose your relationship conflicts. You ever see someone post this? Cannot believe what she did to me again. She is acting cold and distant. Relationships are hard. That is weakness broadcasted. Let me paint you a scene. You fight with your partner. You feel hurt, betrayed, confused. So you go tell your friend your group chat. You spill the details, the words, the insults, the chaos. You think you are getting support. But what you are actually doing is broadcasting your instability. Now everyone knows your connection is shaky. Now everyone sees your power slipping. And when people see cracks, they do not help fix them. They wait for collapse. Here is the law: never expose your relationship conflicts, because once you do, you have handed over your power. You have turned your personal life into public entertainment. And the worst part, no one watching actually cares. The world is full of people who smile while sharpening the knife. Your relationship is your battlefield, and nobody outside the battlefield deserves a map of your emotional vulnerabilities. Once your relationship problems go public, you stop being respected. You become a character, a meme, a tragic story in someone else's group chat. They see your emotional leash. They see you controlled by love, by chaos, by drama, and respect disappears. Because when you share your conflicts, you reveal your emotional dependence. That is not power, that is weakness in high definition. What you say in pain becomes their entertainment, their leverage, their ammunition. You tell them your girlfriend disrespected you. They laugh about it later. You say your partner cheats and you stayed. They never look at you the same again. You are no longer the mysterious man in control. You are the soap opera, the fragile one, the one they expect to break again. Never let people turn your heartbreak into their small talk. And this is not just about friends. In a professional setting, when co-workers or clients hear about your relationship issues, they start to question your discipline. Is he distracted? And here is the deeper truth: people only respect what you protect. If your relationship is sacred, keep it sacred. If it is hell, fix it or leave it, but do not parade the fire like a badge. Because once you start explaining it to outsiders, you give them control over how it defines you. Now, this does not mean suffer in silence. This does not mean isolate. If you need help, get it from someone who is above your level, a therapist, a mentor, not your emotionally reactive friend who cannot even manage their own love life. Let me give you a Machiavellian scenario. You are in a political court. Your rival wants to know where to strike. You casually mention that your queen betrayed your trust. Boom. They have their angle. They use it to break your focus. Push that crack until your whole kingdom collapses. Sound dramatic? It is not. It happens every day in companies, in friend groups, on social media. Your emotional chaos becomes the thing people use to define your strength. Not your wins, not your vision, your drama. You become the broken lover, the betrayed partner, the one who is going through something. They will not say it to your face, but they will think it, and they will treat you accordingly. Here is the rule: if it bleeds, do not post it. If it hurts, do not parade it. If it is sacred, protect it. Because what you expose emotionally will be used strategically. Let me say that again: what you expose emotionally will be used strategically. And most of the time, not by your enemies, but by your spectators. People love watching you break, not because they hate you, but because it makes them feel better about themselves. Now, flip the script. You keep your chaos private. You never talk about your conflicts. You show up stable, clear, controlled. What happens? People assume strength. They assume control. They see no cracks, so they respect you more. Even if your relationship is chaos behind the scenes, your silence becomes your power. Control the narrative or be owned by it. 5. Never share your family problems. You think telling people about your family problems makes you honest. You think being open about your childhood trauma, your father's absence, will make them understand you. No, it makes them judge you. People do not care, they gossip. Say it again: people do not care. They consume your pain like entertainment. Because when you share your family problems, you think you are getting support. But what you are really giving them is a story. And people love a story, especially one that makes you look weak. Here is the law of never reveal your family problems ever. I do not care if it is your co-workers, your social media followers, even some so-called friends. Keep it locked, because most people do not care. And the ones who pretend to, they gossip. Here is the brutal truth: when you reveal the chaos inside your home, You strip yourself of dignity outside of it. People do not separate you from your family. They project the dysfunction onto you. They will say things like, "No wonder he is like that." They will act sympathetic, then screenshot your breakdown, then serve it as a joke at the next dinner party. Why? Because your pain feeds their ego. It gives them someone to feel superior to, someone to talk about when their lives are boring, someone to dissect when they need a distraction from their own mess. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." When you overshare family drama, you lose both. You are not feared, you are not loved, you are pitied. And pity kills respect. When they pity you, they do not follow you. They do not admire you. They do not listen when you speak because they have already placed you beneath them. Your trauma becomes your label. Not your strength, not your growth, just your label. Let me paint a real-life scenario. You are at work. A colleague asks about your weekend. You let your guard down. "My dad left again. It has always been like that. My mom cried all day. I am exhausted." You think you are opening up, but all they hear is unstable, distracted, weak. They will never say it to your face, but the next time there is a promotion, a high-stakes assignment, a leadership role, they will pass because subconsciously they do not trust your foundation. Your emotional scars are sacred. Not everyone deserves to see them. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. If your mind is focused on reliving dysfunction, your energy carries dysfunction and people feel it. So what should you do? Heal in silence. Build in silence. And when you rise, let them see strength, not the storm you came from. Your story is yours. It is not public property. It is not their entertainment. Think about your lowest moments with your family. Maybe your parents betrayed each other. Maybe you were raised in chaos. Maybe there is trauma, abuse, violence, addiction. Now, picture telling that to someone who has not earned your trust. What do they really do with that information? They do not give you therapy. They give it legs. They repeat it. They share it as concern. But it is judgment wrapped in sympathy. When you succeed, they will drag your family pain into it. They will say you got lucky. They will say you are unstable underneath. And when you fail, they will say they saw it coming. You lose both ways. So protect your peace. Because once you put your family problems on display, you lose control of the narrative. And in this world, the narrative is power. The next time your name comes up, it is not your success they mention, it is your dysfunction. Yeah, he is doing well, but you know his dad is a drunk, right? She is smart, but her family is a mess. Do not trust it. Respect gone. From today you do not bleed where vultures fly. You speak with results, and you never hand your scars to strangers. 6. Never share your long-term goals. I am not talking about your next vacation. I am talking about that empire you are trying to build, the business, the version of you no one has seen yet. That vision. Keep it sacred. Keep it private. You ever wonder why some people never get anywhere even when they have big dreams? Because they talked too much. You have a vision. Then you told someone, they clap. You felt good, and that was the beginning of the end. Most people mistake talking about success for actually building it. If they do not know what you are building, they cannot block it. If they do not know how far you want to go, they cannot trap you in place. If they do not know who you are becoming, they cannot stop it. Keep them in the dark while you become the storm. Let me hit you with a brutal truth. Most people do not want you to win long term. They want you to improve a little, but not too much. They want you to do well, but not better than them. They will support you until your growth threatens their self-worth. You ever notice that? You start a side hustle and people say, "Why do not you focus on your job instead?" You start investing in yourself and they ask, "Who do you think you are?" You set a 5-year plan and they laugh, "Bro, that is unrealistic." These are the same people who scroll all day, the same ones who gave up on their dreams years ago. Now they hate that you still believe in yours, so you have 2 options. Option 1, feed them your plan. Let them chew it up, spit it out and laugh. Option 2, starve their doubts, move in silence. Deliver results so loud no one dares question you again. Here is a mindset to tattoo on your brain. Let them see nothing. Let them expect nothing. Let them prepare for nothing. Because the man who says little moves freely. The man who talks big becomes a target. And here is the dark psychology in play. When you keep your long-term goals secret, you create mystery. Mystery builds tension. Tension commands attention. Attention leads to power. You say you want to build a business. You tell your friends, they are impressed. You feel like you have already done something, but you have not. You have only fed your ego, not your results. This is the danger of sharing long-term goals. They trigger fake dopamine. The brain cannot tell the difference between accomplishment and applause. You talk, they cheer, and your brain thinks, mission complete. But nothing has been done. No product, no system, no struggle, no sacrifice. Just a fantasy you murdered with your own mouth. Machiavelli said, "It is much safer to be feared than loved when one of the two must be lacking." You want to be loved when you share your goals. You want praise. You want support. But the moment you chase love, you lose power. Your long-term vision is sacred. Treat it like a blueprint locked in a vault. Only a fool leaves it lying around for anyone to see. Let us break this down. Why do people feel the need to share their big goals? Validation. They want others to believe in it so they do not have to fully carry it alone. But the moment you make your vision public, you give people permission to critique it. Now they are in your head. It is too ambitious. Is that realistic? Why do not you try something smaller first? Even if they do not mean harm, they have planted doubt. Now you start adjusting your vision, not for truth, but for approval. You lose your edge. You water down your dream. You shape it to be digestible, not disruptive. Here is the rule: never give people a target they do not deserve. Now, let us talk about execution. People who share their long-term goals too early procrastinate more. Why? Because they already felt the reward in being seen as ambitious. They told the world they will lose weight, start a company, make 7 figures, move countries. But now the pressure is off. Everyone already knows. There is no mystery, no internal fire. They already cashed in the validation. Do not let that be you. You say nothing. You work in silence. You train in the shadows. And when it is done, you speak with your results. You speak through your power. You do not announce victories, you force people to notice them. Let them ask, wait, when did this happen? How did you do that? Let your silence become their obsession. Never share your long-term goals. Not because they are bad, but because they are vulnerable. Protect the mission. Move in silence. Arrive like a king. 7. Never reveal your biggest regrets. They will act like they care. They will nod while you speak. They might even share a story of their own. But the moment you reveal your deepest regret, your biggest failure, your most painful past, they will never see you the same again. The truth: most people are not equipped to carry your past. They weaponize it. They store it. They wait. And the second you pose a threat, succeed more than they expected, or dare to set boundaries, they will throw it back at you. Your regret becomes their leverage. They will say things like, "You think you have changed. Were not you the same guy who? Funny how you act like you are better now." It does not matter if it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or last week. Your vulnerability becomes their opportunity. This is the cost of confession in a ruthless world. You think you are being real. They think they found your leash. That is why Machiavelli warned. It is much safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Regret invites sympathy, and sympathy lowers your position. People do not respect who you were. They respect who you pretend not to be anymore. You want to confess? Do it to God. Do it to your journal. Not to the friend who gossips. Not to the partner who one day might leave. Not to the coworker who smiles too much. Because here is what no one wants to admit: your past will always be more interesting to others than your future. People do not ask because they care. They ask because they want a weakness they can remember. They want a reason to keep you below them. They want a story to tell that starts with, "You would not believe what he used to do." Even if you have grown, even if you have changed, your regret stays frozen in their mind. Not as a phase, as proof. Proof that you can be broken. Proof that you were once small. Proof that under the surface you are still that person. So what do? You lock it. Use it as fuel, not as a story. Turn your biggest regret into silent discipline. Let it shape how you move, not how you explain yourself. Let me give you a real-world example. You used to chase the wrong women. You got manipulated, played lied to. Now you have leveled up. You hold frame. You command respect, but you meet someone new and you tell her everything about your past. At first, she sympathizes, but weeks later, in the middle of an argument, she brings it up. You were so weak back then. You will always be insecure. I could ruin you too if I wanted. It stings. Not because it is still true, but because you gave her the ammunition. Machiavellian lesson: do not arm others with your own failures. It is a test most fail: the need to confess pain to people who have not earned your trust. Why do you really share your regrets? Let us be honest. You want to feel lighter. You want to feel understood. You want someone to say, "I have been there too." But that craving, that hunger to unburden yourself, it makes you weak. Not because the regret is shameful, but because you needed someone to carry it with you. Strong men carry their past in silence. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom does not mean saying everything. It means you have mastered it so deeply you do not need to explain it to anyone. Let your future be so dominant it makes your past irrelevant. Do not deny your past. Just never share it where it can be stored, repeated, or judged, because people never forget what you regret. And in the right moment, they will use it to shatter your progress. So from this day forward, repeat this to yourself: my regret is my discipline, not a confession, not a sob story, not a talking point. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let them talk. But never again will you give them the weapon to use against you. Most people never become dangerous, not because they lack power, but because they overshare, they overtrust, they move loud and early. They leak their goals, their fears, their fire until nothing is left but noise. How many wins have you destroyed by talking too much? How many steps did you slow down explaining yourself to people who do not even know who they are? Now flip it. What happens if you stop broadcasting? You build in silence, you heal in silence. You strike when no one sees it coming, because the world does not respect warnings. It respects surprise. It respects precision. It fears what it does not hear coming. If that is the energy you are stepping into, guard your silence like your life depends on it. Because it does.